What's up, everyone? It's your boy Norn Rad89 here, bringing you another video. And for today's video, we are going to continue the Bond review series with another Bond film I picked at random out of that hat, and it was Moonraker, this time from 1979, starring Roger Moore. And like I said, today we're going to get into my feelings on the film. This isn't like a full-on like review or anything like that. It's just retrospective talking about it. Like I said, just watched it a couple days ago, so we're gonna really get down and dirty into my feelings and all that kind of stuff on the film. So make sure you stay tuned to the channel and be sure to like and subscribe too, so you get more videos like this. So let's do it. Roll it. Moonraker in 1979. This is James Bond diving into space, and really it's an exciting film. It really is a fun film when you think about it, because they were kind of taking homages from what was really going on in the height of cinema at that time. Star Wars, Star Trek was really popular as a TV show and all that kind of stuff. So of course James Bond had to tip his hat and throw it into the ring, and wanted to go to space. And that's probably, like I said, one of the best fun things about this film for me, is that it's a sci-fi adventure for James Bond. There's some stuff I don't like about this film, but mainly that kind of falls into my personal taste thing. When it comes to Roger Moore, I enjoy his Bond films, but I like his Bond films when they're taken a little more seriously. And Moonraker is one of those ones that they kind of play it off for laughs, and it kind of has the same feel when you get into A View to a Kill. Roger Moore's latter films, the last few he did as James Bond, were, like I said, more silly, more campy fun. And I can understand if that's the Bond you grew up with, or that's the Bond style you lean into. You're definitely going to like Roger Moore better than, Craig or Dalton or some of the other guys that are very serious and stuff. But this one, like I said, main reason, the sci-fi element in it is very powerful, and I like that. Also, Michael Lonsdale as Hugo Drax, great. Like, I think our villain character is really the bomb in this film. He has a good portrayal, but he's kind of wasted in some points in this film, because there's a middle portion in that middle act where he kind of disappears. But Hugo's badass in this film, especially like that scene when, after they figure out his one of his assistants helped Bond get into his office room and unlock like a safe. And yeah, when he feeds her to those dogs, that was crazy. That's a scene, but when you watch it, it kind of feels like it's out of a different movie, like it's from like a gangster flick or something, like out of Goodfellas or Casino. Like, it's very horrific, or like the way it plays out, kind of Martin Scorsese horror style. It's pretty wild. But it's that middle portion of the movie for me that really takes this film down for me, and it's basically all the Jaws sequences. So when Roger Moore's dealing with Jaws and being chased by him, and then like he almost catches Bond, but then he like falls off the waterfall, and like I said, we have like a gondola chase scene, we have a boat chase scene, we have a lot of sequences that go on like in this film. Like I said, it's not boring at all, but I feel like it's just action set piece after action set piece after action set piece. There's not a real good clear-cut story that builds this film up for me, and that's kind of the main problem. Like I said, all that Jaws sequence stuff in the middle, it feels like almost a Scooby-Doo type style filming where they do it. They treat it very silly and stuff, and even when Jaws meets the girl that he's going to end up, being with in this film, that lovely lady, she has like the pigtails and the glasses, the blonde hair, she's all cute, and just looking up at Jaws, like, it's just, there's too much stuff in this film that's played for laughs, and that middle chunk of the film really drags it down for me. I love the first act, I love the setup for this film, and I love the ending third act of this movie when we get into space and we get to the space station that Hugo Drax is running and stuff. So that's what I mean with this film. It's kind of a bag of mixed for me with this movie. In terms of Roger Moore, though, I think he's fabulous in this one. I don't think he does anything really wrong in this one. It's kind of just the way they write and treat his character and the situations they write him into. But Roger Moore, I think, does a great job as Bond in this film. One thing I could say with the Roger Moore era, too, is that at no time do I ever feel like he's in danger, James Bond. So that's always a problem with me when I watch the Roger Moore ones. I'm like, I know how they're going to play out already, because I've seen these films, multiple times. But watching those films, I never feel a threat looming, or I feel death coming or anything like that. When it comes to Roger Moore's character, there's other Bond actors where I feel like, oh, they could possibly die, or they did die, or they will die, kind of thing. And I don't ever get that kind of feeling when I'm watching Roger Moore. But like I said, I could totally understand somebody's side or their personal taste if they grew up on Roger Moore or they prefer that style of Bond, because it does have a very more a cartoonish feel to it, but a good one, a good feel to it, almost like a Looney Tunes feel, but it's more serious, spy espionage. It takes place in the real world, but like I said, the chase sequences and the bad guys, it's very Looney Tunes cartoonish style to me sometimes. Moonraker Bond song by Shirley Bassey. It's one of those Bond songs that it sounds a lot better when she performs it like live. I've seen her perform this live, and you can check it out on YouTube. She's got a lot of performances where she's done this song. And I think it's one of those Bond songs that sounds better out of the movie. When I'm watching the film and you're seeing that Bond intro card for Moonraker, it doesn't have any effect for me. It doesn't have a feel for me. Like I said, it's not one of my top ones. Like I said, in the film, it doesn't build an atmosphere. But when she sings it live, you should definitely check her out, sing it live, because that's a great way to hear the Moonraker song, in my opinion. But yeah, this film, that when we get to that third act, it's pretty wild though. Like after we get that nice delivery of that speech from Hugo Drax when he's talking about his plans and that he wants to annihilate the earth and use this flower. Yeah, it's the flowers and this gas, this poisonous gas that they made to kill a bunch of people on the earth. And he wants to take all the people from the space station and go back to Earth and basically make the next generation of people the chosen ones. You know what I mean? And it's like, these are the best physically, mentally best, beings in the DNA, terms like that. And I don't know why he's on this space station, maybe because he came up with the idea, but it's funny when you look around the space station, all his people, like they obviously look like fit, beautiful looking people, men, women, and all that stuff. And yeah, it's kind of just a weird, wonky plot. Like I said, it's a very cartoony plot, something kind of out there, weird and stuff. And that, yeah, and Jaws, like how he kind of turns on Drax in that last scene, it's like, it's cool because he helps Bond. I like seeing Jaws help Bond. Like, it is cool, and I have nostalgia love for it, but it's something that I'm like, you could have wrote him out of the story, because I feel like Jaws was just there almost because he was such a loved side villain from a previous Roger Moore film that they wanted to bring him back in some form or fashion, and bringing him back in this way, I don't think it really made the character that great. It is cool that he kind of, he got his happy ending with his girlfriend and stuff, but it's like, yeah, I don't think it was worth it to come that far to bring him back. But this James Bond film does have one of my best and favorite lines in a James Bond movie ever, and it actually comes from Q, when all the agents from all the countries are sitting down and they're going to talk to Bond, and they're trying to radio into the satellite to get communication to the ship, and you see James Bond sleeping with Dr. Goodhead. Like that was hilarious. And then Q drops the line, I think he's attempting re-entry, sir. Like, oh my God, that is one of my favorite lines ever in a James Bond movie. So yeah, Moonraker, I have so much love for this film because, like I said, it has one of my favorite iconic lines that every time I hear Q deliver that line at the end of the movie, I crack up laughing. And like I said, the third act, Hugo Drax is an amazing villain. The setup for this movie is good too. And we also have a cool, CIA agent that gets to help Bond in this one. Dr. Goodhead is actually somebody who has talent and she can work, and she assists Bond. Like, if she wasn't there in this film, I don't think Roger Moore's Bond could have got the job done. So yeah, there's a lot of aspects of this movie, like I said, I do enjoy. It's just that middle chunk that really drags this film down for me, and the fact that they play a lot of that stuff for laughs. And I feel like you could have taken the Jaws character out of this film. You could have totally wrote him out of this film and had a different side villain and stuff, and had shortened the chase sequences in the middle and had a little bit more story, and this film would be a lot higher on my James Bond ranking. Also, by the way, I have ranked all the James Bond films in a live stream, so make sure you check out my channel. On my lives, I'll have a Bond ranking videos, chilling that night, drinking some beers, talking about Bond movies. So if you want to know my full-on ranking, go check that out. But yeah, Moonraker is still not a horrible one. Like I said, it's not at the bottom barrel of my list. I think this one was at like 17 or 16. It's in that range for like Bond films for me. But these are just my opinions and my thoughts on Moonraker, and I would love to hear from all of you in the comment section. Share your thoughts on this film. because we're all different. That's the best thing about us. And like I said in my intro, make sure to like and subscribe so you get more videos like this, because I'm going to be coming out with some more horror content, of course, too. We're going to be talking about some holiday horror movies coming up soon, and also continuing the Bond review series. Up next is going to be You Only Live Twice. So I'm excited for that one. Thanks for sticking around with me, all. And most importantly, have a safe and happy day. Peace out.